The drums beat, the horns sounded, the voices sung praise songs to Shango, Oshun, Elegua, songs of blackness, songs of liberation. I looked into her eyes, I held her hand. She breathed, she pushed, she overcame all obstacles. I sense her power, I'm in awe of it. She pushed some more. A moment later, there he was, the extension of our unified creative life force. She held him, he fed. I held him and told him exactly what my father told me at birth. You came into this world to liberate your people. Now come and master your destiny. Tendai Mwari Mopeni.
Tenda Mwari, greetings kings and queens. My name is Tafanzawa Shakara Bandaka. I recently became a father. In fact, 8 weeks ago today, I became a father. And since that time, I have been sharing a lot of my reflections on my social media and these kinds of things. And, you know, based upon the responses that I've been getting and the thoughts that I've had, I figured that I'm going to do some reflections on my reflections. So I've been writing them and posting them various places, and I've been looking over them over the last few days. And I figured that I just reflect on what I've already reflected on. And you know, these are, many of them were just like things that I was writing in the moment. In terms of the fact that my son, who is 8 weeks today, was in hospital for a few days. You know what I'm saying? Nothing serious, just on a round of antibiotics. And so I had to take him to get those antibiotics in the morning and in the afternoon. And so I would be waking up at, 4 o'clock in the morning and just reflecting and writing things down. And some of these things I decided to share. What I'm sharing today is the first reflection that I wrote on the morning, just hours after my son was born. A lot of it focuses on, of course, his mother. Yeah, his mother's name is Nahanda Sankofa. And the process that she went through. Yeah. Now, for me, one of the things that I always wanted to do, one of the roles that I always wanted to play in terms of my children coming into the world was to prepare the space, prepare the environment in which they're going to come into the world. And the ideal way to do that is home birth. Yeah. And there's a lot of information out there about home births at the moment. Shout out to my brother and sister in the King family, Fit for a King, King spelled with 2 I's, because they have a brilliant series of videos on home births and the process. It's quite an in-depth, process. Unfortunately, we were not able to go through the home birth process, for reasons which I won't go into. But we did inquire about it, we did look into it, and we might try it, at some point. But this time that wasn't possible. So but I still wanted to be able to prepare the environment as much as I could. And even with that, I wasn't even able to, because he came early, like there were certain things I just didn't have in it. Like when you hear water broke, yeah, for just run down at the hospital, innit? And so there were certain things that I didn't have, but as best, I did. One of the things I was able to do was ensure that he had the right kind of sound vibrations, music, yeah? It was for her as well as him. For him, because he is very responsive to sound in the womb, yeah? As Nahanda told me, particularly my voice, he would respond to my voice quite a bit. And so I spoke to him a lot. I would sing to him in the womb and them kind of things there. And for her as well, for Nahanda as well, in the sense of the fact that, sound vibration helps to put one into a meditative state, focus the mind, and, send certain energies around the body. So I was able to do that. And as this particular reflection begins, the drums beat, yeah? And obviously that's just symbolic as well of the fact that the drum is very significant in African tradition, and oftentimes drums signal the coming of new life, yeah, or naming ceremonies and them kind of things there. So that was significant for me. So when I speak of the voices singing praise songs to Oshun and Shango and Elegua or Elegba, That's literal in the sense of we had music that was singing praise songs to our divinities, our African-centered traditional divinities, particularly in the Ifa tradition. You know what I'm saying? And then we had, I was playing Fela and Nicola Pokuti, and I played him, Erica Badu got in there, Miriam Makeba and Nina Simone, and even some Wu-Tang, some Sizzler, some Peter Tosh, Culture, Janine, one of my favorite artists right about now, was played. And just before he came out the womb, what was actually playing was, Babatunde Olatunji, legendary Nigerian, Yoruba artist, drummer. And so, that's the energy that was, permeating the room, when he, eventually came out. It was beautiful, and that was a beautiful energy that we was able to create around his birth, and also in relation to the environment, like caring for Nahanda. I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do, partly because she was strapped up to all kind of monitors because they were monitoring the baby, because there was a meconium situation. For those who don't know what meconium is when the baby defecates, poos inside the womb, and so that causes all kind of different things because they have to guard against infection when that happens and everything like that. So because of the fact that she couldn't move a lot, the little things like the rubbing of the back and the all the kind of things there, I wasn't able to do in the way that I wanted to be able to do it, but I was able to just be there and check on, that she was fine, and make sure that she eats when she needs to eat, that she's drinking water, and, focus on her mental wellness, trying to make sure that she was calm and them kind of things there. And when I tell you, there's nothing that prepares, because they always say you don't know until you experience it, right? But there's a psychological impact that it has on you as a man when you're watching the mother of your child go through the process of bringing your child into the world. It's a lot, and sometimes you have to accept that she's going through things that you can't do much about other than just be there, moral support and all them things there. But there's nothing that really, you can't put it into words, what it is to watch a woman go through that. And I say, especially if she's going through that and bringing your child into the world, it's a very deep thing, And so looking at her and understanding the kind of strength, physical, spiritual and mental strength that it takes to go through that process for so many months, and that process for so many hours, it leaves you in a state of awe and absolute respect. And like I said, there's nothing really compares to it. It's difficult to even describe. You're looking at the ultimate source of power. And I know a lot of people, when people say the black woman is God, get a bit digi about that statement, But if you are spiritually inclined, you can't help but put it in the realms of the divine. This is the primary way in which we show our creative energy on this planet, and that's the bringing forth of life. There's no process like it, and it is the woman that is blessed physically with the makeup to be able to facilitate that process in terms of nurturing life in the womb, in terms of bringing life forth from their being. And as a man, it's just beautiful, to be able to observe that and to be close, to a woman who goes through that process. And I give thanks for that, I give thanks for that. So, and then it's like, so for us now, because there was a bit of a discrepancy as to how, dilated she was in terms of whether she was 4 centimeters or 10 centimeters and all these things. And 1 minute they said she was 4 centimeters. I won't go through the whole story. 1 minute they said she was 4 centimeters, and the next minute, they were saying, push, she's coming, and that's just, so like, you're there, and as a man, you're going through these, at 1 minute you're here, and the next minute the baby's coming, yeah. So I look down and I see his head, and my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, nothing's going right about now. And he came out like just a few minutes later. Yeah, it was very, very quick. Yeah. And again, it's like you see the head, and then you see a full body come out. He cried for like 2 seconds. You know, coughed up some of what was in his throat, and he was fine. Like he was serene after that moment. And yeah, you know, and one of the first things that I saw when I looked at him was the first face I saw was his mother's face, and he had very strong features. Yeah, very, very strong features, and you know, I did love that. You know what I mean? Remind me of them Olmec head that you see in Southern America. And yeah, man, like it again, magical situation. You know what I mean? I was able to see everything, and then eventually I cut the cord as well. You know what I'm saying? I've never felt anything like an umbilical cord. I don't know if you've ever felt an umbilical cord, you must know what I'm talking about. I've never felt any substance in life that feels like that. Yeah, what connects the baby to the womb, but it was a pleasure to do that. And obviously, the blessing of first holding him went to his mother. And you know, I saw the joy in her face when she first held him. And then eventually I got to hold him. And as I said, the first thing I told him was, you come into this world to liberate your people. Now go and master your destiny. And as the first part of that, my father told me when I was born. Yeah, he's told me this growing up. Yeah, all of his children. He said that he told us that when we're born, he tells us you've come into this world to liberate your people. And so that means that whatever we do, wherever our destiny, wherever our mission is in life, it must contribute to the development, the betterment, the freedom of Africa and all African people. And I think it's very important for me to tell my son that when he comes into the world, I want to give him purpose and mission. And within that purpose and mission, there are many missions, there are many destinies, there are many purposes to fulfill in life. And so he has a broad foundation, a broad remit from which to develop himself. You know, I don't want to just have children for children's sake. Yeah, you know, I want my children to bring something to the world, bring something to the universe. And I was born and raised in that context, and so I intend to raise my children in that context, unapologetically, and with the utmost blessings, because I consider myself blessed to have been raised in the way that I was raised. Finally, I ended the reflection with the salutation or exhortation, Tendai Mwari Mopeni. Tendai Mwari, you hear me say a lot. It simply means, in the Shona language, which is mostly spoken in Zimbabwe, it simply means be thankful unto the Creator. Most people call God. Be thankful unto the Creator. Tendai Mwari, that is Tendai, be thankful. Mwari, Creator. Mopenyu, I met a Shona brother in May. A Shona speaking brother in May. Because he was familiar with who I was, he came and he greeted me and he said Tendai Mwari, and he said he wants to teach me Tendai Mwari Mopenyu. Mopenyu means living, yeah, or life. It pertains to life, and so he's saying the living God, or the living Creator. And so yeah, I was meditating upon that post the birth of my son. Because of the living aspect of it, Tendai Mwari Mopenyu, yeah, in the sense of the fact that, you know, being able to bring forth life is the greatest testimony to the fact that we are connected to the Creator, to a creative life force, you know what I mean, that is all encompassing in the universe. And so I give thanks for being a reflection of that creative life force by proudly adopting the title and the role and the function of father, to add to all else that I am in this world, kings and queens. So I give thanks for you listening to this first reflection, and I look forward to seeing you again. All right, Tendai Mwari Mopenyu.